Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise and really get into the real talk of the trucking industry. Every single day you're out there. You're navigating the traffic, sure, but also that relentless grind, right? The rates always changing, the regulations, feeling like a maze, finding a decent spot to rest. That's a lot. It is tough out there. And yeah, sometimes it feels like the challenges just keep coming. So our mission today, we want to unpack some recent stories that honestly have really hit home for drivers. We'll look at them from, well, every angle we can. And most importantly, explore how you can feel more respected, more supported, and maybe a bit more in control of your own journey. Because this is about your livelihood, right? Your peace of mind. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is looking at these challenges, these stories, not just as, problems, but actually as opportunities. Hidden lessons, maybe. Chances for you to build resilience, find your own power in your career. Our goal isn't just to read headlines back to you. It's about empowering you with knowledge, with strategies, so you can handle whatever the road throws your way. Get stronger, more self-sufficient.
Absolutely. And speaking of things the road throws at you, let's start with a story that, well, it's a real gut punch for any owner-operator listening. Picture this. Your Peterbilt 389. You know the one, that classic long-nosed, powerful, maybe a $300,000 investment. It's your office, your home on wheels. You drop it off at what you think is a trusted body shop in Connecticut, routine repairs, and then it's gone. Ugh. Poof. Not stolen off the street, but allegedly taken and dismantled inside the shop by an employee, basically a chop shop operation. I mean, when I read that, my jaw just dropped. Your rig is everything: income, freedom, pride. That kind of betrayal, it cuts deep. How does that even happen?
That's a really good way to put it, the betrayal part. And the ripple effects are huge. It's not just the one owner-operator who lost their truck. It casts this long shadow over the whole repair industry. Good, reputable shops are now, scrambling. They have to install 24/7 cameras, run much more aggressive background checks than before, offer detailed intake inspections, sign timestamp photos, all that stuff just to rebuild that basic trust. And the real cost isn't just the truck. It's the downtime, the paralysis of your business while you're fighting insurance, losing income. Which brings us to that insurance angle nobody's really talking about. Sure, your commercial policy probably covers theft, but when it happens off your lot and by someone you sort of hired, like the shop, that's where you can hit these policy loopholes, negligence clauses. It can mean long, long delays while they figure out who's at fault. So the insight here, ask the shop and your insurance provider upfront, in writing. What happens if my truck disappears while it's in your care? Demand to see those theft and liability clauses. Seriously, that bit of foresight could save you so much time and stress down the line.
Wow, that's sobering. Worrying about threats from outside is one thing, but from inside a place you trust, chilling. And just when you think trust can't get any shakier, let's shift gears to Pennsylvania. There's a mechanic busted recently for, well, a massive fake inspection sticker scam. We're talking about allegedly printing and selling fake Pennsylvania inspection decals to over 150 trucking companies. The charges are serious. Forgery, tampering with public records, conspiracy. This isn't just a few bad stickers. It's potentially hundreds of unsafe trucks out there, undermining the whole point of inspections. And it's a real slap in the face to all the honest fleets doing things right, spending the time and money on real safety.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, the DOT, they are not going to take this lightly. You can bet the FMCSA, state DOTs, are going to ramp up surprise inspections, audits. So imagine you, totally innocent driver, get pulled over, have your whole day or week messed up because of a fake sticker you didn't even know about. Hervey from Life as a Trucker, he always talks about seeing issues from all angles. And while what this mechanic did is absolutely wrong, illegal, no question, it does sort of highlight the pressure some smaller outfits are under, right? When things are tight, shortcuts might look tempting to some, but look at the consequences. They're severe for everyone, the mechanic, the companies, and ultimately you, the driver. The key insight: vigilance is your best defense. What can you actually do? Well, double check your mechanic's credentials. Are they certified? Reputable? Don't just assume. Audit your own trucks. Yeah, it's extra work, but it protects you. And if you run a fleet, train your drivers. Show them what real stickers look like versus fakes. Those details matter. Honestly, operating cleanly, protecting your brand, your record, it's more important than ever. It's about your peace of mind, too.
It really underscores that in this industry, where trust can be fragile and scams pop up, you just have to be proactive. Vigilance isn't optional. You're your own first line of defense. Yeah. Okay, so let's pivot now from trust issues to the economy, because things are looking a little weird right now for truckers. It's this paradox. More drivers, less freight. Seems backwards, right? Freight volume seems pretty soft. Most reports agree on that. But trucking employment numbers, still climbing. So what is going on? Is it just a delayed reaction? Are companies maybe quietly prepping for a big rebound later this year? Or is it just kind of desperate retention, trying to hang on to drivers even when there isn't quite enough work?
Hmm. This raises an important question, doesn't it? And it's confusing a lot of people. Why hire when freight is soft? There are a few things going on, I think. First, even with less freight right now, that underlying driver shortage, it never really went away. Companies remember how bad it was. Second, yeah, some bigger fleets are definitely hedging their bets. Staffing up now, hoping for a fall peak season surge. They don't want to scramble for drivers like before. Plus, you've got seasoned drivers retiring after that crazy pandemic rush that creates openings. And CDL schools, they're still graduating new drivers, eager to get started. And finally, yeah, a lot of carriers are choosing retention over layoffs right now. Even if miles per truck are down, they know turnover costs a fortune. So what's this mean for you? Well, if you're a company driver, you might see jobs advertised, but maybe the miles aren't guaranteed or the fine print's tricky. Work might be spread thinner. If you're an owner-operator, it means more competition for those loads that are out there. Your negotiating power might feel a bit weaker. And for new drivers, seems like a good time, but you really need to vet companies carefully. Look past the bonus, check their stability, ask about actual miles.
Sure.
The key insight here, I think, is that this isn't just a soft market. It's like a recalibration. Fleets focusing on retention are betting that loyalty and availability will matter more than just rates long term. For you, this means your value, beyond just the rate per mile, is maybe becoming your strongest asset, quietly.
That makes a lot of sense. Like the whole industry's holding its breath, waiting, and you guys are caught right in the middle of that uncertainty. And as if economic weirdness wasn't enough, we've got this tariff war reloaded between the U.S. and Canada, directly hitting cross-border freight. Starting August 1st, 2025, new executive tariffs kicked in. Duties on some Canadian goods, steel, aluminum, lumber, some auto parts jumping up to 35, even 40%. The U.S. is citing national security, fentanyl concerns, bad faith trade loopholes. For those of you running north or south regularly, this isn't abstract news. It's real, and it's hitting now.
You're absolutely right. This isn't just politics for truckers. The impact on the ground for you is immediate. First, expect that cost creep, that slow increase where suddenly invoices have extra fees, surcharges, shippers pass those tariff costs down. Maybe not labeled tariff, but you'll feel it in your margins. Then, delays. Definitely expect more border inspections, slower customs, especially for those flagged items or companies slow on the paperwork. This is already causing uncertainty. Logistics folks are rethinking things. Some smaller carriers are even hesitant to bid on cross-border loads right now. And Canada, they're not just sitting back. They're talking about hitting back with their own tariffs on U.S. goods, maybe even limiting U.S. carrier access to Canadian infrastructure. More hoops to jump through. It's important to remember, while the USMCA agreement covers most stuff, that 5 to 15% it doesn't cover. That often includes heavy freight, structural steel, forestry goods, heavy vehicle parts, the kind of loads many of you haul. So if you're hauling that stuff, expect surcharges, maybe canceled contracts, definitely rate renegotiations. If we look at the different viewpoints, the U.S. says national security, fentanyl. Canada feels like they're caught in U.S. politics again and wants to diversify trade. But for you, the trucking industry perspective, it comes down to deadhead miles, detention time, paying the bills, right. Politics are secondary to survival. So, practical advice. Verify the product classification for your specific loads. Pad your delivery times seriously, give yourself extra room, talk to your brokers, your shippers about tariffs, and keep an eye on the tariff news weekly, because you are absolutely the one caught in the middle of these big political and economic games. Being prepared is everything.
Yeah, it's clear these global shifts land right on your dashboard, adding complexity you just have to manage. You're not just driving, you're like a real-time economist sometimes. And speaking of complexity, let's shift to the future of fuel. This ongoing, often pretty heated debate. Environmental advocates versus truck makers over clean rigs. You probably remember the Clean Truck Partnership back in 2023. Volvo, Daimler, Navistar, PACCAR, they all publicly signed on to California's tough emissions rules. Seems like progress. But here's the twist. Now, 17 environmental groups are asking, hey, why are some of you guys also backing lawsuits trying to block these same rules? Kind of makes you wonder what's really going on.
What's fascinating here is this intricate dance between really powerful groups. And their arguments are pretty different. On one side, the environmental advocates. They're basically accusing the truck makers of greenwashing, saying the right things publicly but fighting progress privately. They want full commitment now. Then you have the truck manufacturers. They're walking a tightrope, aren't they? They know zero emission is the future. They're investing billions. But they also point to huge challenges: the massive cost of battery electric semis, the serious lack of charging infrastructure needed for long haul, reliability, range issues. They're still working those out. So their argument often isn't against clean trucks, but against the timelines. They feel the mandates are sometimes unrealistic, too fast. And then, right in the middle, That's you. Drivers, fleet owners. You want cleaner air, of course. Nobody wants dirtier. But you need solutions that are actually realistic, affordable, that work reliably. There's a real fear of getting stuck with super expensive, maybe under-tested tech, or having your perfectly good diesel rig regulated out of existence too soon. These rules directly hit your current truck, your future costs, learning new tech. The key insight. Environmental groups focus on the future promise. Manufacturers and drivers live the present reality. And remember, what happens in California or New York, Washington, those states often set the tone for the whole country. It's coming.
So yeah, trucking is going electric, or at least much cleaner. No doubt about that. But the how and the when, that's everything for you guys. Is it a smooth transition or just a really bumpy, expensive ride? It's about the tech and the support network around it. Okay, let's shift gears one last time. End on something more uplifting, a reminder of the respect and value within this industry. We want to talk about the Transition Trucking Driving for Excellence Award. This is more than just an award, it's huge. It spotlights military vets making that switch from service to trucking. And the prize. It's incredible. A brand new Kenworth T680 Signature Edition. Think luxury. Heated, cooled leather seats, fridge, big sleeper, all the tech. It's not just a truck, it's basically a launch pad for owner-operator freedom. And huge recognition for these vets. The 2025 finalists are amazing folks, like Kat Corretto, Army National Guard, now with Roll. Bradley Leckie, Army vet at Crawford Electric. Federico Hudson, Air Force vet with Van Wyck. Just a few examples. The timeline. Finalists announced Aug 4th. Recognition events September 18th. Plant tour the 19th. Then public voting November 1st to 11th. And your vote matters. Winner announced Decapit 12th. It's a really powerful program.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this award, it's smart, it's strategic, it's more than just nice. It directly addresses the driver shortage by bringing in disciplined, safe, drug-free, mentally tough veterans, people with a built-in sense of service. It highlights great drivers, sure, but also effective military to CDL programs. Those pipelines are crucial. Now, let's get real for a second. Most people don't strike it rich in trucking overnight. And sadly, for some vets, it's maybe seen as a last resort by others. But this contest, it totally flips that narrative. It shows trucking as a strategic, respectable, rewarding next step after the military. The key insight here, though, isn't just for vets. It's that you don't need a trophy to start leveling up. This story is about recognition, yes, but it's also a broader message. Find your path, keep building your future.
That's a great point. And it really brings us back to the main theme we want to leave you with today. Personal empowerment. Planning your future. All these stories, the theft, the fake stickers, the economic shifts, tariffs, clean air rules, they all point to one thing, don't they? You, the driver, need to be taking control of your own destiny. Like Hervey from Life. As the trucker says, manage your time not just for the shippers, but for yourself. Use that off-duty time. Rest, yes, but also invest in yourself. Learn something new.
Exactly. This raises an important question. Why wait for things outside your control to dictate your future? The instability we see, theft, tariffs, freight swings, rule changes it makes, having your own plan, maybe an exit plan, or at least a strong shield, really critical. Be proactive, not reactive.
That's it. We really encourage you. Build skills, look into alternative income streams. Think about it. Tired of freight rates going up and down? Tired of being at the market's mercy? Imagine having online income coming in month after month, recurring. That's a shield. That lets you retire when you want, on your terms. It softens the blows. It's about building a future where you're calling more of the shots. We invite you. Check out lifeasicarker.com. Real guidance, real community there. If you're thinking about what's next, visit retirefromtrucking.com. There's a free guide, even training on AI tools you could use. And to start building that side income, learn how other truckers are using online tools. Head to truckersidehustle.com. So what does this all mean? It means you have the power. You can create a more secure, more independent, and hopefully a more fulfilling future for yourself, whatever the road brings.
In a world where the road ahead can be so unpredictable, maybe the most important destination you can plan for is your own financial and professional independence. What are you doing today to build that future?
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We really do respect the vital work you do out there every single day. We hope you feel a bit more empowered to keep exploring ways to secure your own journey, both behind the wheel and maybe beyond it too.